when a country goes through difficulties, as the one we are going through, my expectation is that we close ranks. There's no fuel price for opposition. There is no fuel price for those in government. There is no fuel for a poor man, and there's no fuel for a rich man. Honorable Speaker, I'm taken aback that instead of us closing ranks and looking for a viable solution for our people, we have emotionalized the debate. Honorable Speaker, we had COVID in this country. We closed ranks and we sat down from both sides and agreed on the way forward. There have been very concrete proposals put on the floor here from either side. And as a country that wants to resolve an issue, we should pick those concrete proposals and put them into action. Because at the end of the day, people want reprieve. The economy wants reprieve. If oil prices continue to escalate, this economy will collapse. Fact. Honorable Speaker, these are my proposals. I agree entirely with a proposal put forward by Honorable Ndindi that we need to share the profits. We reduce the profits of the marketers. That would give us some reprieve. Honorable Speaker, I also want to propose that we look at an aspect of G2G and renegotiate, not only to look at the issue of supply, we must look at the issue of price so that both variables are put into the agreement. It will give us some reprieve. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, at this point in the country, it is my proposal that we look for a middle way to provide a subsidy for a period of time, 6 months, as we monitor the global politics. On the other hand, Honorable Speaker, what are we doing in the long term in terms of our oil exploration in Turkana? Honorable Speaker, what are we doing with all the coal in Kitui? Honorable Speaker, it is the right time to look for resources and ensure that we have our own refinery and we go into exploring our oil in Turkana. Fourthly, Honorable Speaker, it is important that we also diversify our sources of fuel. We have countries that we could source fuel from without using the Arab fleet, which has to use the Strait of Hormuz. Honorable Speaker, I want to plead with my colleagues that the situation we are in now, we cannot call each other names. We need to reason together. We need to look for solutions together. We should not bastardize government, but we need to sit down as members of parliament and agree that this is the direction we want to go. But at least give our people reprieve, give the economy some spike. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Member for Mogotio.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a very timely and discussion and motion, Madam Speaker, because the moment we are in requires that we all come together, devoid of our political affiliation. And we need to have this discussion soberly without looking at which formation you come from and which part of the formation you come from, Madam Speaker. As a nation, we are not an oil-producing nation. We are oil takers nation, Madam Speaker. And the prices being set, global prices being set, Madam Speaker, does not only affect us, but it also affects our economy, Madam Speaker. So as a nation, we need to start looking into our future, that what do we do to get away from this, because we are slaves of fossil oil from other countries. We have to look at, as we look for short-term discussions, such as the discussion and the ideas that members are putting across here, Madam Speaker, we need to think on how to be independent in future and how to be able to survive in this harsh global environment, Madam Speaker. So as a nation, we need to look at how we can harness the Turkana oil that we have and put our refinery so that we're able to caution our own citizens when it comes to such a moment and such a time. We also need to look on how we can move from oil dependency to electric vehicles and other things, Madam Speaker, and diversifying so that we're able to generate our own energy and go into electric cars and other things that can make this nation run without being over-dependent and being slave of fossil oil that has made us to be where we are at such a moment when we are trying to recover from our economic problem which we are in the economic den which we are in, that we are on a trajectory towards recovery. But now the oil prices and the global problem caused by America, Israel, and Iran has put us, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we look at this issue and discuss soberly, it's also good for us, all of us, to be honest in this discussion and not be hypocritical when we are looking at it and blaming government. When sometimes back, when some of us were in government, Madam Speaker, we had the opportunity to put proposals that could have changed the debt situation of our nation, but maybe we failed to do so at that time, Madam Speaker. But now it is fashionable because politically it is right to do so, Madam Speaker. Our nation requires patriotism, not only in government, but also from private sector, Madam Speaker. That as the government look for measures, as the members of parliament here discuss on measures on how to lower the prices, Madam Speaker, also the private sector such as Matatu owners should also look at a way of not hiking prices and taking advantage of the situation that we are in a nation and hiking prices. And when the oil prices come down, they don't lower the prices of the matatu or of the matatu along our roads, Madam Speaker. So Kenyans remain with the burden of paying expensive prices on our roads, Madam Speaker, when we should have been patriot enough and try to caution Kenyans. Even our banks should also caution Kenyans and assist Kenyans at such a moment, not auctioning them or selling them or putting pressure on the matatu owners and other people so that we are able to caution Kenyans from this pressure of the high prices, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's also a shame, Madam Speaker, it's also a shame that those people who have been fashioning themselves as the united opposition, Madam Speaker, when we are discussing such a serious matter like this, Madam Speaker, they are not in the House, Madam Speaker. They are the same people who have been posturing outside there as the defendants of Kenyans, Madam Speaker. But when Kenyans are discussing, when elected leaders are discussing issues touching Kenyans, we don't see the faces of those calling themselves united opposition, Madam Speaker. The same people who are shouting loud, they are not here to give suggestion on what should be done, Madam Speaker. As I conclude, Madam Speaker, you know, Madam Speaker, the honorable member for Kiaru is my good friend, Madam Speaker. And he's been my friend for a long time, Madam Speaker. But 2-3 years ago, Madam Speaker, he was the chair of Budget and Appropriation Committee, Standing Committee on Budget and Appropriation in this House, Madam Speaker. And as the chair in this House, Madam Speaker, he had an option, he had a time, and he had every other opportunity to be able to look into our debt situation, because what is pressing Kenyans is our debt, Madam Speaker. But now he's telling us he wants to sit with the Committee of Budget, and he's seeking for attention of the Chairman Budget and Chairman Committee to give suggestion. When for 3 years he's been the one receiving the suggestions, he should have been able to assist this country of ours. He should have been able to
Honorable members, I don't know, your time is up, member for Mogotio, and I know you're seated with the member of Kiharu, and you have confirmed your friend, so I want to indulge the member for Machakos. Honorable Kamene to make her submission.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I rise to contribute on this matter of the continued rise of fuel prices in our country, a situation that is now hurting ordinary Kenyans, industries, farmers, transport operators, and the entire economy. Today, the cost of fuel is no longer just an energy issue. It is the cost of living crisis. When fuel price rises, the price of food rises. Transport fares increase, electricity, and the cost goes up. Common mwananchi is suffering. I am therefore supporting measures that we should, as Parliament, caution to make sure that Kenyans are retrieved from this suffering they are going through.
I want to bring up, and I want to thank Mheshimiwa Ndindi Nyoro because he has been in the forefront, trying to fight, understanding what the common mwananchi is going through. And I truly respect all members of Parliament. And it is true, we speak when we are outside. And even here, we want to speak out. And these are some of the measures that, indeed, when we come together, we'll be able to see how to save this situation. We need an increased transparency in the fuel pricing by EPRA. We need that more than ever. We need to create subsidies.
So that, and these subsidies, we should make sure they are benefiting the consumers directly, not even the middleman. Because we are here, and this is the house that is able to do all this. We ought to strengthen the oversight of the government-to-government fuel import arrangements.
Because even when you hear everybody discuss this issue outside, they keep pointing at this. But we are always quick to avoid these questions that the common mwananchi and every citizen is asking. Transparency, corruption. We saw those two ships coming the other day. Total corruption. We have never seen anybody put into book. No arrestments have been made. What does that tell us? We are comfortable. And this issue of members of Parliament of blame game. Oh, last time when you were there, nothing was done. Now you're talking. For heaven's sake, our people are suffering and we need solutions. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Chair, Energy Committee, Honorable Gikaria.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to be able to raise and support and also thank Honorable GK, the Chair of Roads, for bringing this very important adjournment for us to be able